But cooking's just like making films, making events.
Yep.
You get the right ingredients, you get the right things. You plan.
And then you learn how to play with it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't need to measure everything. I can fucking throw in some garlic and throw in some... let's try this spice. I don't know.
Like, I think audiences want, just like their food, they're tired of the process and they're ready to get back to basics.
Absolutely. Because sometimes you might film something and it looks weird and not exactly what you thought, but you're like, actually, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. How's your not drinking going?
Almost 100 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Do you feel better?
So much better.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a
Your
lot more.
skin looks great.
Thank you. I have so much more energy.
Yeah, right? And less wasted time and
Yeah.
those hangovers.
Ugh, I can't handle the hangovers.
No?
At some point, I would like,
Cheers.
I would drink in the weekend and then be hungover for longer and longer periods.
Yeah.
And then Thursday would come around and I would be like, oh, I'm feeling good.
Right.
Then it's Friday.
Boom.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, almost 100 days without drinking, like in 2 days. And yeah, no regrets. Like,
No, that's great.
I'm still having fun with friends, doing lots of things, doing more.
It's just retraining yourself, right?
Yeah, like honestly, the hardest part was like the first 2 weeks, like the first 2 or 3 weekends.
Yeah,
where I was like,
where do I go?
Is this gonna like, can I do it?
Right.
And now it's like, all my friends are pretty supportive, or more than pretty, like very supportive, and yeah, I mean, I'm still doing all the same things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to festivals, going to Burning Man.
And you're clear-minded when you're talking to these people. It's not like, oh.
And I can drive.
Yeah.
I'm saving lots of money, not Ubering.
Right? There you go.
Yeah.
And drinking, you save a lot of money.
And the drinking.
Yeah, the drinking, especially drinks are so expensive now.
So expensive.
And less people are doing it.
I know. I've noticed that.
I know.
I've noticed that. I go out. There's more selections for NA stuff.
Yeah. I'm actually working on a party called Coffee and Chill ATX.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's all this holistic party. There's a DJ, there's coffee, there's matcha, there's B12 shots, cupping, massage, lymphatic massages,
That's
red
awesome.
light therapy, but it's a 2-hour party. It happens every 2 weeks at different venues, cold plunging.
Really?
Yeah, you should come.
I would love to come.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, Giovanni,
Hey!
welcome to the Wolf Pack.
Wow, let's go.
You're like ground level Wolf Pack.
I am. I have no idea what that means. What is a ground level?
I don't know. Well, you helped. Well, we'll get into it all, but
Okay.
you really helped put together our activation for the book and brought a lot of energy to that. But so how do you say your last name?
Profera.
Profera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the Wolf Pack podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It's super high end podcast.
Yeah,
here.
I see. Right? Wow.
Yeah. So we put together this event, and you charged that. You headed that.
Yeah. At the Canopy Hotel. Shout out to the Canopy.
Shout out to the Canopy. Shout out to Arnaldo,
Arnaldo.
who hooked it up. Thank you.
Thank you. We love you.
Hilton Canopy on West 6th Street, Austin, Texas.
If you're
Amazing.
ever in Austin, check it out.
Go there. It's beautiful. It was we lucked out.
Yeah, we did.
You know, a rooftop right in the first weekend of South by Southwest.
Yes. Beautiful weather. Amazing
Perfect.
people.
Amazing
Great
people.
energy.
Great DJ.
Yeah.
Caesar.
Amazing. Caesar. Shout out.
What up?
We're just giving all the shout outs.
I
today.
know.
Yeah.
And I think he rebranded to Suave Blanc.
Ooh.
So Suave Blanc. Formerly
Blanc.
Caesar.
Wow.
We're gonna have him on the podcast.
Oh, that's great.
I'm already talking to him and his partner there.
Thank God he changed his name. DJ Caesar. Yeah.
Suave Blanc is cool.
Yeah, I like that. It has a unique rolling of the tongue.
Yeah.
Suave Blanc.
But you have an interesting history. You're an artist. You like to put on events. You come out of Miami. You moved to Austin. You live in Buda. Moving to Martindale. Lots of things going on.
A lot of changes going on.
Yeah. So like, tell me what's your story?
So my story: born and raised in Hialeah, Florida, which is a city in Miami. It's 94% Cuban. I'm Cuban, B. So I randomly got into events. I was studying to be an educator, substituting. I was 21 years old, and I saw that paycheck, and I was like, oh no. Education doesn't pay. So I saw a casting call for a role in a dinner theater show, and I auditioned for that, and happened to be at a nightclub, and that nightclub is Mansion Nightclub.
Oh, I've been to Mansion.
Mansion, Miami.
With a fake ID I got in there.
What?
Back
Shout
in the
out to
day.
Mansion. Yeah, it's no longer there, though.
Yeah.
It was on Pennsylvania Avenue. And I got the understudy role, which I loved. Just to be casted was a blessing.
And that's like knowing the part, but in case the...
Right, in case the main actor either needed time off or he fell ill or whatever the case, but they would rotate the cast.
Right, the backup.
Yeah, so I got to perform there, an amazing experience, but the creative director of the nightclubs and the night scene asked me if I would like to be his assistant, helping with like decor, production. I said absolutely. And I was making more in a week working at the nightclub than I was in education in a month.
That's crazy.
So at 20...
that says a lot.
Yeah, so at 21 years old, where would you rather be, in school or at the best nightclubs in Miami? And we had 5 clubs under us. We had Set, Mokai, Louis, Cameo, and Mansion. And I helped all the production, so I worked with all the best DJs there. Steve Aoki, David Guetta, Diplo, and these were the people that were just climbing to the top. Right now they have huge names, but these people were just like Tiesto was the big one at that time,
right.
But he would play there too, and
sure.
Yeah, and just so many wild memories. So that's how I infiltrated the event scene.
Mm-hmm.
So my event experience comes from the nightclubs, and Miami, you learn a lot and quick. And I think that's why I think I'm so progressive in the party scene, because it happens all first in the nightlife scene. With your club kids, your drag queens, your DJs, the whole production is way elevated because you're paying a higher price to be there. It's not like a corporate event where you're just wandering because your job sent you there. Mm-hmm. You want to be there, and we needed to give you that experience. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah, you're paying a lot.
You're paying a lot.
You want to be entertained. You want to have fun.
Right.
You're not being forced to.
And you have to be on the innovative aspect of it. Lighting, CO2 tanks, entertainment. It's not just a pretty girl in a bikini just dancing. We would put 4 girls in a lira every night. We had the robots before the robots were big. Mm-hmm. We had the LED system. Yeah, check it out. Mansion 360, if you look it on YouTube. It was just a wild...
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I noticed that's a very important thing to you, because as we were planning my event, you were constantly like, okay, we can't just have everyone standing around and having a free cocktail. It's not enough. We have to have activations. We have to have things to do. We have to keep people creatively engaged, having fun, like memories, creating memories.
But I think it's the same aspect in film. You can't just put on this wonderful story anymore. People need to be involved. They need to be activated. They need to be engaged. And I always tell you, people don't dance anymore. People want pictures. They want the boutique experience. They want it customized for themselves. Brand visibility is super important, but it's not just putting up a logo or a banner anymore. It has to be catered to the crowd and the guests wanting to experience that. And when we put on the Wolf Edge activation, we did have a reader of cards there telling the story,
a tarot card reader,
but engaging the people with it. And
some people were really into it.
They had to be.
I mean, even the people that weren't super into that were into it. Yeah. That's cool. And then the people that were really into it, they were like, this is amazing.
Yeah. At some point, I saw some girl in tears, and she was just so encapsulated by what the reader was telling her and how it went along with her story and the Wolf Edge story. So it was a magical experience. And then the tossing of the lily pads into the pool was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
Where we engaged all the guests to toss it, and they won a prize if they launched it the furthest.
And you came up with that on the fly.
Yeah,
you're like, hey, we're gonna see who can throw the lily pad furthest.
Hey, I'm great at improv, and you have to be flexible when throwing an event. Some last minute changes, but you can't buckle under pressure. Mm-hmm. And you got to read the room, because sometimes people are there to dance, sometimes people are there to network. So just reading that room, you could tell people needed some sort of engagement, and we just went for it. And you were so easy to work with, so it's like, why not? Let's go.
No, it was easy. I was like, oh, it's just all happening.
Yeah. And fast, right? All this planning led up to, and
right.
then, boom.
Yeah. So like if you were, you know, some young person came to you and was like, I want to get into planning. We're kind of addressing some of it, but what is your
run, get out,
run,
get out.
So what's your like 101? What's your class?
So it depends on what kind of events you want to do. If you want to be in the trade show industry, because there's a lot of facets in the event realm. So if you want to do corporate events, weddings, nightlife, there's a lot, birthday parties, you know, there's a huge market for niche events. I personally like nightlife. You know, I love people. I love the culture of nightlife. I love house music. I love all music, really. But being 14 years in the industry, I'd recommend, you know what? Start volunteering with event planners.
Yeah.
See if you like the bridal industry. See if you like the nightlife industry. See if you like the trade shows. Yeah, you want to dip in everything, and then you'll find what suits you best. You know, I personally don't like the wedding industry because it's too personal. You know, the mother of the bride's involved, the father of the bride's involved, the groom doesn't want to be there.
There's politics of the family.
There's politics. The dad's paying for it, usually traditionally, so he has a lot of input in it. I'm just like, oh, this is not my thing. So, you know, I love my ratchet twerking girls on the bar. Like, let's go! It's Friday night.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm sure it depends, and you know, well, so tell me what. If you could have an unlimited budget, like what's your dream event that you could put on anywhere, any place, any type of crowd, any artist and collaboration?
Okay. So it'd probably be a festival vibe. You know, I love carnival rides because I love anything that has movement.
That's cool.
Lights.
Yeah.
So I would say a carnival, kind of like Electric Daisy, but on a bigger level. I want multi-stages. I want performers everywhere of all realms, not just dancers, but stilt walkers. I want it to look like a circus, LED, CO2 with a petting zoo. I love animals. And it doesn't all have to be either drug related or alcohol related, but little areas, kind of like an adult Disney, where if you do want to have a drink, you can go here. If you do want to have this experience, go over there. You know, so it cater to the masses, but I would love it to be in the woods with carnival rides, tons of performers, and great music and entertainment.
That sounds amazing.
Unlimited budget.
Yeah, and I do think it's, you know, obviously drinking is a big deal for some people. A lot of people, it's good to have it, but oftentimes it's like the center of anything. You know, I mean, a lot of parties, it's like all there is to do is drink and talk, which can be great, but it gets boring.
It does get boring, and the new generation are not drinkers. You know, and we're seeing this in nightlife, and bottle sales are down, and we have to rebrand ourselves to cater to the masses because they still want live music. But how do we get them together to have an enjoyable experience without having to bring liquor? Because that is the moneymaker. That of every event, liquor can be upmarked up to 300% and people will pay for it. But now, coming from the nightlife realm, what do you do when those bottles aren't selling? You got to give people, again, the boutique experience, and you got to cater to them, because if you want them coming back, you got to grow with them. So.
Yeah, and I loved the event you threw because there was a lot of planning. We did as much as we could, and it actually reminded me of putting a film together, because pre-production is everything. And so you have to do all this pre-production for all the things that you know will go wrong, or the things you know you want to have, so that there's space when the event happens to be flexible, to have fun. You know, it's like plan, but then you do it all so that you can like
enjoy
let it fly.
Yeah. So I'm one of those planners that likes to plan up to the event and the day of it. But once the event is started, it's out of my hands. That's how you know it's good planning.
Right.
You know, when you can sit back and say, I did this, and now you know what? I could go to the bar and have a drink and mingle and network, because, you know, having that crew there, of course there could be pop-up fires that you have to put out, But a good planner, I believe, has thought of everything and has crossed their T's and dotted their I's. Again, weather permitting and, loading incidences or guest list incidences, but it's just all part of the process, just like film, just like you said. But if you don't, what's that saying? It goes, if you plan, how does it? If you fail to plan to fail. So
true.
And when you do something for so long, you're in the film industry. You can plan, but the weather doesn't work out right, or the equipment goes out, or you forgot a prop, or this department's slacking on their end.
I've had an actor not show up, and we couldn't get a hold of him.
And what do you do?
Never showed up.
What do you do?
We had to put some other guy in.
There you go. You just roll with the punch. But
Right.
I think that's what makes the event and film so exciting too, because it is that, the actor didn't show up. What do we do now? So you got to get creative, and that's part of the process too. That and it works out better sometimes.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah,
For sure.
But you can't just get hyper fixated. It is your vision, but sometimes that vision has to come together on its own. And I believe in fate happening too.
Yeah, I'd say I definitely have learned the hard way. Like I'd say when I was younger, I had some teachers who were all about the pre-production, all about the planning. So I learned a lot about that.
Yeah.
And then I think I went into some productions with like, oh, well, all those went well, so I can fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, oh no, this is now not fun because I could have just done the homework and like figured out all these problems that are happening, and now we're behind, and now it's a whole thing, and now like I'm losing faith in my own. So and that's like traumatic. It can be.
It could be, especially when filming too, because one day behind throws off the whole production.
Yeah, exactly.
So just like
sometimes you have to get burned and to learn not to touch the stove.
Yeah, George Clooney says you learn more from failure than you do success. And
That's
I totally agree. If you
Yeah.
don't have those failures, you're not doing it right.
That's for sure.
Because if, not everything can be a success. You want it to be a success and you plan for it.
Yeah.
But I think in those moments, especially starting out in your career, it's like, oh, this is it. You want to be this control freak. But sometimes if you just plan it right, sometimes you just got to give up control. And I think that's hard for an artist or a director or an event planner.
And it's hard to, and even like a lesson is like, who you work with, because these are collaborative things. Like you can't do an event by yourself. Like you can't do a film by yourself. They're like, sometimes it feels like, going into like a battle or something, like you have to depend on certain people to do certain things. And, depending on who those people are, like they can either make it like a huge success, make it bring something to the table that like, you're like, oh, I never even thought about that.
Right.
I could never have thought about that. And the opposite can be true as well.
Oh, absolutely. And you have your two, I feel like, wow, I never thought about film and events being so similar, but you have your type A, which is like very nitty gritty, which is a schedule and a timeline, and you have to have that kind of person on your team. But then you have the other directors that are more like organic. Let this scene play out. Let's have
let it breathe.
Let it breathe a little bit. So it's not so scripted. Like go by the guidelines of the script, and I think that's what audiences want. They want it to feel more organic and real, just like events. They want to have that moment of breath where it's not like the juggler comes out at 12, this happens at 1.
Right.
They're looking for that in some instances, but if it just flows, I think if the juggler's late by 5 minutes, we'll be all right.
Nobody's
gonna know.
Yeah.
Just like no one knows the film or where it's going.
Sure.
So I feel like, you do your best with what you got.
There's sort of like an ironic aspect of film because like structure is really important in the script.
Right.
Like it's in conventional narrative, like not talking about avant-garde stuff but those have structure too. But I've had many screenwriting teachers who've helped me a lot. And early on, it's like it's all about gotta fix the structure, because then if you get the structure right, then you can play within the structure. Like if the car is broken, like it's hard to an avant-garde car is can be a problem.
Absolutely. No one likes a lemon.
No one likes it.
I don't know where we're going with the car, but
I don't know.
I get it. No, you're absolutely right. If the structure is there, I think the leeway to play is there. And that's what makes a great film. That's what makes a great event, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So what brought you to Austin, and let's talk about Austin a little bit. Austin's kind of cool. Huh?
It is kind of cool. It's not as sexy as Miami, so I had to turn down my sex appeal, believe it or not. No, Austin's a cool city, but I think it is going through some sort of identity change. It's no longer the Willie Nelson and the country line dancing we once knew. There's still pockets of it. But, with the tech scene coming in and the cowboy image still here, I like to call Austin a pubescent girl. She's getting all the right parts, but she doesn't know how to facilitate them or use them to their advantage yet. But she just has all these raging hormones, and she's trying to search for her identity. So that's what I like to compare Austin to.
I think you once called Austin a barista.
A barista? You talking to the right hoe? No.
Yeah, you said you were comparing Miami and Austin. It was really funny when you said it.
Yeah, well, one serves matcha, the other one serves,
You're like, Austin's like a fucking barista.
I don't know. Austin is a really great city.
Yes.
I don't know how it is the live capital.
Yeah.
Music of the world anymore after COVID. COVID devastated Austin too. It devastated a lot of art communities, but
it brought a lot of people here too, though, because it did lighten up earlier than like New York and LA. So there's like a bunch of New York and LA restaurants that like chefs and stuff that moved here and stuff like that.
No, it's a great scene, but I don't think it's where it needs to be quite yet. And we are the pioneers bringing that energy that Austin needs through its identity crisis, you know? So let's see what rebirths,
Yeah.
Because I love the Willie Nelson stuff. I didn't grow up on it, but I love it. And I've really looked forward to brisket now. Yesterday I had barbecue.
Nice.
Look at me, I'm a Texan.
Have you ever traveled elsewhere and someone's like, let's go get barbecue, and you're like, oh man, I've been eating real barbecue.
Yeah, no, I never crave barbecue. I'm always more of a Caribbean boy. I want my Cuban food. I miss Cuban food so much.
Do you cook?
I do.
Do you cook Cuban food?
Yeah.
Really?
Sí, yo cocino como un cubanito, papi. Ahí de Hialeah, Miami, Florida. Throw it up the real bad.
Well, tell me about that. How did you learn how to cook?
My grandma.
Yeah?
My grandma and my mom.
Are you close to them?
Yeah. My grandma passed away in 2020.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But we had a great time, We have food at home. That was our saying. So, yeah. I come from a very different background, too, because my dad's Sicilian, my grandparents were Lebanese, and my mom's Cuban. So that influx, I get the best culture cuisine ever. So I can hold my own in the kitchen. I could. But cooking's just like making films, making events. You get the right ingredients, you get the right things. You plan.
And then you learn how to play with it. It's like, I don't need to measure everything. I can fucking throw in some garlic and throw in some... let's try this spice. I don't know.
Hey, I think if all your events are a success, you're doing something wrong. You're not trying to be innovative or, Just like I see a lot of weddings, they're doing the same thing, the same giveaway, the same bar, the same... And that's great for the vendors. But for the guest experience, if you go to enough weddings, it's just like, another one? Okay, open bar. Great, love an open bar. But like the same giveaways, like after a while, people are like, you got to up the ante at some point.
Yeah. I do find that weddings seem to be pretty the same. I went to India a few times, and I've been to Indian weddings.
Oh, those are the best.
I've crashed Indian weddings.
Yeah?
Super fun. Yeah.
Did they think you were Indian?
No, but they're really welcoming.
No, of course.
Yeah, they thought I was Indian.
No, right?
They're like, they thought I was a cousin. This like giant white dude.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Name's Sky.
No, but we went to this. I think it was in Jodhpur, and there was a wedding going through the street, and the groom was on a horse, and it was amazing. And we stood in this line to meet the groom and the bride.
That's beautiful.
And they were just overjoyed to have us.
Yeah.
They're very open door. Like, you can just go.
Yeah, it makes you like, because you've been to a lot of American weddings, but when you see the level and the intricacy of an Indian wedding where it's a 3-day celebration, if not more, and they get animals involved and the florals are just out of this world, and it's a beautiful experience. And it's so colorful and vibrant. And now you come back to the States, or let's use Austin, for example. Everything's seeded eucalyptus and barns. I've never seen a bar wedding until I moved to Austin.
Very live, laugh, love.
Yes, I thought I was going to need a tetanus shot, like just like setting up these events in barns. That's the Texan way, though. So.
Yeah, like very. They feel like an old, like a old timey picture. Everyone's like.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
So it's like, but that's the nostalgia here. Whereas in Miami, people want to get married like on a rooftop skyscraper or on the beach or in a beautiful hotel or historic hotel. You see a little bit of that in Austin, but in Miami is very prevalent and very showy.
Yeah, my uncle got married on a beach and it was super chill.
Love that.
Like sandals and like breeze and...
But I think the event has to be customized to the couple, just like your event is customized to Wolf's Edge.
Yeah.
You know, and I love the story and the timeline and the characters are amazing. How did you come up with it? Like,
in film school or in undergrad, actually, at Denison, I came up with this concept of this kid who jumps from high places and lands in this magical forest, which is where he becomes Sam Wolf, this like sort of painted warrior kid. And we made shorts with my cousin playing the lead over many years, and then that kind of ended. He joined the army. And we sort of did a final one, like the death of Sam Wolf. It was kind of a goodbye to the character and that whole collaboration, and sort of childhood, because Ian turned 18, joined the army, so it was like the biggest kind of growing up. So I was like, can we do one more? Before you go, and he was like, "For you, okay."
Right.
But I think it was, it was meaningful for both of us, and so then I kind of put that to bed and did other things. Made a documentary,
which is amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
I saw a little footage of it.
Nice, so thank you. American Gadfly.
Wow.
Yeah, that was that. Well, I did that because I was trying to get a bunch of fiction projects going, and it was like I was hitting wall after wall. And I was like, honestly, I'm going to do a documentary. And it was easier to put together. And it was cheaper.
Of course.
And I had
especially with all these amazing sets you want to create. Because this is not...
I know.
Send your money now.
Send your money now.
Right here. Look below. Right here. Just subscribe to the link.
SamWolf.net.
Right here. Let's go.
The Kickstarter's still live for late pledges.
Right. For only $49 a day, you can keep this director.
It's true. And these are nice. Okay. You're going to keep these forever.
Yeah.
And support the foundation for the future film.
Yes.
But so we made the documentary. That was great. I was so happy because I wanted to get a feature film done before I was 30.
Okay.
And I just about did that.
All right.
Pretty close. And it was something I'm proud of. But then a couple of years later, the Sam Wolf itch came back. And I was like, I want to redo it. Start it over. And that's when Good War came out, and we sort of broke it apart. Like, all right, what if we just took out the magic part? Put a kid on an island, and how could we make a real Sam Wolf? That's gritty and dark and intense. So, but while playing homage to the work that we've done in the past. So
I love it, because when you asked me to do your event, and I said sum it up for me without having to read it, you said it was a little bit of Lord of the Flies, and it met Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So, and I think that sums it up pretty good with the Austin background, and his dad being an author, and you were really upselling Wanda, which I loved, and you're
Wanda.
I love Wanda too. She's so cool.
Yeah, Wanda's fun.
She is fun. So who would be your dream casting for that? If they're watching right now, like who
Halle
would be-
Berry.
Halle Berry.
We have an awesome role for you.
Girl, come through, Halle Berry.
Wanda Kinsey, movie mogul.
Yeah. Well, did you remember that Halle Berry? Remember, people get their start randomly. Like she went from BAPS.
Oh.
Did you ever see BAPS?
No.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It stands for Black American Princesses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
She plays a hood girl. She has gold teeth.
No, really?
Yeah, you gotta watch
I've gotta
it.
see
Watch
that.
BAPS.
Okay.
But it's so good. But she started there. She wanted to be in a Heavy D video.
Yeah.
So she goes to LA. Yeah, it's a really good.
She's cool.
She is cool.
She's at Cannes right now. Film
Is she?
festival.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So Halle
She
Berry.
looks great.
Yeah.
She's got a skincare thing.
Does she?
At Cannes. Yeah, something.
Wow.
She's got some big thing going on.
Wow.
But
And
she's a
Sam
great
Wolf?
actress.
Who would you want Sam Wolf to be?
Well, so there's Sam Wolf and then there's Isaac.
Oh,
Sam
yeah,
Wolf
yeah.
is in
Isaac,
the book.
Isaac.
So Isaac, well, we're looking at sort of forget his name. He's in the Percy Jackson.
Bruce Jenner.
The show, Bruce Jenner.
No, I'm
Yeah. The thing is, like, and we need to firm the list, but like
Right.
the kids' age, like that, the window of like 17, 18 years old,
Okay.
like those actors are they change really quickly.
Yeah, they do.
So like I'm really, focused on the dad role and Wanda.
Right.
But yeah, the new Disney Plus show, that kid is really good.
Oh, really?
And then the kid in Belfast, what is amazing. He might be a bit young, but
Okay.
by the time we get it going,
Yeah. No, you guys will
we
get
got to
it
keep
going.
eyes on like
Yeah.
who's gonna
the
be
youth.
because it's such a difficult age, or it's like a very short window.
Yeah.
That age, like even for the artist drawing, like it took a while to get the like the face right,
Yeah.
because like 17, 18 is like not quite boy, not quite man.
Right. It's in this
Still a little baby fat.
Where were you like 17?
Dude, I mean, I had glasses that were crooked, and I know.
I had like baby fat tits.
Oh,
know,
yeah.
you
Oh,
know
really?
How guys get, like.
I was skinny, but
Oh, really?
but I had big legs,
Okay.
and I was always so self-conscious about them. But
Really?
now
Big
I like
legs
them.
are- well,
no,
they're
now I
in,
like them.
right?
I had big lips
Yeah.
and big legs, and I was always like, "Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed."
Oh
Like,
my God, boo-hoo, I have big lips and big legs.
I know.
Right.
Well, because someone said that I had DSL,
Uh-huh.
and I was pretty, and I was like mortified.
Yeah, well.
But now I'm like,
Thank you, right? Jesus Christ
That's
is
fine.
my surgeon.
Now I'm like, my legs are my best part. Like, I don't even really do anything to keep them big. But
Cue the picture of you in the Speedo with the legs and the lips.
I know I should send that. Yeah, but no. But it's funny how we're self-conscious about things when we're kids, and then they become things that we're proud of or happy about.
Yeah.
I mean,
grew into my teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this mouth since 9, but I think that's why Mick Jagger and Aerosmith, like the whole big lip thing too. I had that feeling. So I looked up to Mick Jagger and Aerosmith because they had such big mouths.
Yeah.
So this mouth I had at 9, and I was just like,
what do I do with it?
yeah. So
Well, and that girl from White Lotus,
which one?
the girl who
Tsunami.
she's been getting no, not her.
Oh.
It's I don't have. She's got really big teeth, and she's like she owns it. She's like, I'm not doing this. Like all my agents told me she's got honkers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and but she's like my agents and everyone throughout my career told me to fix them.
Yeah.
And now I use them as part of my characters. But SNL like totally made fun of it, and she said she wasn't so happy about it. I don't know, but
Well, I think this is what's great about this story too, that embracing of your change and your physical features, and
yeah,
you have to, especially as a teenager. Being a teenager is hard.
yeah.
Especially today and age, I wouldn't want to be a teen.
With all the social media.
Social media,
Yeah.
you're already going through it when you're going through puberty. You're finding yourself, you're finding your clique, you're trying to figure out what you want to do in life because our society puts so much pressure on us. Like, what do you want to be? It's like, you've been in this institution of school
crazy.
for so long, and then all of a sudden you got to know what you want.
Right.
After being told what to do for so many
Exactly.
years. It's like,
And that's what Isaac, the character, is. I mean, his dad's basically like, well, you go to college and then you're free. And he's like, no, it's like I'm stuck in like these. I'm just getting out of high school.
Yeah.
Like now I have to go to like, what do I, I don't know. He doesn't even know what he wants. He just doesn't feel free.
At our age, we don't even know what we want.
I know.
So how do we expect a 17, 18-year-old kid at that point to know what they want?
Yeah, and I think, more and more, like, the answer is, and I know it sounds kind of corny, but, like, nature is, like, super important to just to disconnect from the expectations, the speed, looking at all these models, like this is what we're supposed to be like.
Right.
Like, just take a break. That should be more encouraged. I feel like it should be, go on a walk, leave your phone behind, stuff like that. And I'm not sure kids are getting. Because when I was a kid, I grew up in Indiana.
Yeah.
It was like,
what was that?
Bye.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm meeting Carl and Brian and blah, blah, blah. All right, see you later.
Right.
No phone. Nothing. We'd go fucking dick around in the woods.
Right.
Or like my friend had fucking 4-wheelers on his farm. Yeah. And we'd like do dangerous things. Like
that's
sabotaging
what it was. Yeah.
lawns. And
in Miami, it was the same thing. Because we had a boat. So once you hit a certain mileage off the coast, your phone was dead.
Yeah.
And, no reception. And we didn't freak out. We didn't know anything else.
No. And I really value that time that, like, the internet was coming, but it was like the 90s period where it's like, it's not dominating our lives. No. The internet is like something cool that's like popping up and like, oh, check out this website. Yeah. It's like there's a hamster in a blender.
Yeah. But the kids are getting bored of it now. Did you hear the new upsurge of the jitterbug? The old people phones? The jitterbug with the big numbers.
Sure.
So those are coming back into style because they have no access to internet. They have no access to social media. They have no access to... I
get the appeal.
But you have it for an emergency.
Sure.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
So all you can do is... I don't even think you can text. Maybe text, but I don't even think you can receive pictures on it.
Well, I feel, and I think I must not be the only one. I'm feeling desensitized by like art on the internet. Yeah. Where you're scrolling and seeing, I'm like, wow, if I was holding this, I'd be like, this is amazing. Yeah. But it's just like, and so I am optimistic that like things like this, like physical things, are always going to have a place, and maybe even more and more so, like a return to I want to hold things. Yeah. I think people are looking for that too, because we've been flooded, and like you're talking now with AI getting outrageous, they can recreate the scenes. You don't know what's real on the internet anymore, Now you have voice AI where it's recreating people's voices almost perfectly. So you don't know what's real, and I think people are just tired of social media. There has to be a point where it just breaks, and we need to regroup as people. So how do we get people back into theaters? As a director, how would you get them to go to the theater rather than just stream it on Netflix? I think the heart of it is tell great stories. Yeah. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's true. Yeah. Like new, interesting, original stories. Right. I think there will always be an appetite for blockbusters and sequels, and trust me, I'll be right there. Okay. But I think that there's a lot of risk taking on television. I mean, things are contracting right now because it's been a bad time. But in general, in the past decade, it's been like gangbusters of experimentation, greenlighting cool things. But I think the studios would be wise to be investing in a lot of $10 million experiments. Right. Some will be bad. Look, I mean, take it like from a business perspective, they should approach these things as like entrepreneurship. So like the rule is like you invest in 10 companies, most of them could fail, but you'll get a home run, maybe one. You get some doubles and some triples. You give us $10 million, you see how we get you that home run right here. Subscribe right here. Yeah, but what do they have to lose? It's like $10 million. No, but they're spending $500 million on one Tom Cruise movie that isn't that profitable. Like those big blockbusters, they're not that profitable because then they have double the budget on marketing. So they'll make a lot of money, but like are they making a lot of money? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, it's like almost like a big marketing thing to keep their brands alive, and they should
just stop at some point and just be like, you know what? We're gonna leave this alone. Like, no more remakes. Why don't we need fresh ideas?
Yeah.
Like Wicked. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I never saw the play.
No?
No, I was always like bummed that I never saw it.
I don't know, but again, investing so much money. Yes, you have Ariana Grande and that Cynthia girl.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, it's not sustainable because they're spending way too much money, and probably AI is going to replace a lot of these VFX artists, sadly.
So
I mean, that's
the nature of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I think to get people into theaters, I mean, you have to try new things and like elevate new filmmakers. I know I have a bias because like I would like to be one of those people, but it's the same as like in the 70s. Like lots of experimental stuff came out, and it was like a golden age of cinema and like new voices coming to the front, like the breaking of the old guard, like the end of the 50s and the censorship and like the Red Scare and like all the communist, they were hunting screenwriters and imprisoning people in Hollywood. It was all like propaganda.
Yeah.
And the 70s was about liberating from that and freedom. And you had like Terrence Malick come out of there. You had even from the blockbuster side, like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. But you had like also like Jack Nicholson came out of there. I mean, it's a crazy, new wave, American new wave. And I feel like we're coming out of a bad period of, a restrictive period, lots of sequels, tired stories, also some like censorship adjacent type, like comedies have been, I can't name a great comedy that's come out in the past. Like
The Wrong Missy. Have you seen that?
No.
With David Spade.
Oh, is that with Theo Vaughn in it?
No.
The Wrong Missy?
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay, I'll see that.
Yeah, but you know what I think it is too? People want organic. Mm-hmm. I feel like these movie stars nowadays are just so polished and so perfect that they're almost unattainable. So when you see this beautiful woman just crying on screen, she could be an amazing actress, but she's so pretty. It's like doesn't even feel real.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the filler and the lips and the teeth and everyone's starting to look alike.
Yeah.
And the acting's not quite as strong as it was even going back to the 80s, 90s. Sure. Even early 2000s. You had to be beautiful always to be on screen, or some sort of beauty or some attribute that made you beautiful. It could be spirit or eyes or whatever it was. But now it's become so superficial.
And they all have the same surgeon.
They all have the same surgeon. They all have the same almost voice for the most part.
Yeah.
The inflection of the voice. It's that, you've heard it. But like, I think audiences want, just like their food, they're tired of the processed and they're ready to get back to basics.
Absolutely. And I think a lot about like the Oscars and the award shows, and they're like, how do we turn this around? And the ratings of the Oscars. Yeah. And I watch the Oscars, and I watch it every year. Go back and watch the ones from the 80s. Yeah. Watch the ones from the 90s. Watch Billy Crystal. And back to event planning. Yeah. They put on an event and they put on a show.
Right.
Like this year's Oscars, it was all. I mean, there was like one song Conan sang, but most of it is just these actors coming out, telling bad jokes, reading from a teleprompter.
They look amazing.
They look amazing.
They're perfect.
Robert Downey Jr. has like really cool glasses. Right. And he's like, but look back at the 80s. Watch Pee Wee Herman comes out, and he gets attacked by a giant robot that's invading L.A. Pee Wee Herman gets on this thing, gets ziplined up through the audience, and then this robot comes out, and then RoboCop comes in and kills the bad robot and saves Pee Wee Herman. Okay?
Yeah.
Look, it's crazy, but like, that's fun. Like, I want to watch stuff like that. Right. Billy Crystal, he was like doing all these performances and like he was amazing. Like he was so engaging and
animated. There was emotion. These people have so much filler and Botox in their face. They can't even show expression.
Yeah. Because the reality is like people don't care that much about the movies, especially because we don't have 10 classics nowadays.
Right.
So you got to put on a good show. Then people will watch it. Then we'll go viral. Like,
Right.
oh wow, like Nicole Kidman like went upside down and like got zip lined up. I don't know.
Did you see Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl?
I didn't like Baby Girl.
Oh my God, it was so boring. I was like, this is the kinkiest you got? Because they were like groundbreaking.
It was all in the trailer.
Yeah.
I thought the trailer was just the tease, and they were gonna go a lot further with the kink stuff.
Yeah.
And then
who
they
cares
didn't.
if she drinks milk out of a cat bowl? That's like a Thursday night for me.
It was in the trailer.
Yeah, but
Well, it's
I
like,
don't know.
Yeah.
And that weird awkward dance that dude did.
No, he should have taken over her whole entire life and company.
A little bit. We need some dick. We need some male nudity. You know, like bring back.
I think they were scared.
Of what? I was scared of Nicole Kidman's face in that movie, and her wigs were really bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you have this super mega star, which she didn't produce it for me. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah.
And her husband. I don't know. I just didn't believe that dynamic, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was gonna be like the trailer riveting, the most provocative thing you'll see all year, and it's like
That's how they sold it.
Yeah.
I was there,
Me too.
and about halfway through, I was like, should I check my phone?
Right? There was no climax. There was no build up. Like, I don't know. So
Yeah, it was kind of a dud for me as well, and it was a great concept.
yeah,
I think it was probably a great pitch.
yeah. And how much did they invest in that movie? Come on, millions upon millions.
Of course.
And it's like,
Yeah, they're spending too much money on movies, in my opinion. Like that's part of the like with the technology right now. Like you could do a lot.
you could.
You know, so much. You know, you don't need to have the giant cameras anymore.
No.
Like I'm looking at things by DJI that are like there's so much. Also, I am watching like AI space because there is a potential that it will help independent filmmakers like do some things that they wouldn't be able to do because there's no money. Right.
Yeah.
It's like it's not eliminating those jobs because like that film just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Anyways. Potentially, or that whole part wouldn't even happen.
Yeah, you don't need CGI to that capacity anymore where you need a green screen and you need all this equipment.
Or it just becomes a helper for the person who is the VFX guy, and it just allows them to like do a lot better job.
Yeah.
And not die, because that's the reality is these VFX guys are being overworked and underpaid, and they're they just unionize, so.
Yeah. So how do we bring it back?
Well, I think, this is really ground level stuff, but I think, making stuff. Kids need to be making stuff, making movies. Just go out there, it's a multimedia environment. Yeah. You can have comic books, you can have music videos, you can make
podcasts.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
Like we're a very multi-dimensional environment.
Yeah.
So I think building it around and throwing yourself out there and nothing's going to be perfect. So just go do it, make it, go to the movie theater. You'll see those movies are not that perfect. No. So it's that fear of perfection is sometimes an enemy.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens because in the 70s and 80s, the movies weren't perfect. Mm-hmm. A lot of it was ad-libbed too, or, just like Caddyshack. A lot of that, and they talk about it like they were getting high in the trailer and coming out and doing a scene, forgetting all their lines. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that's what we need to regress to, but I'm just saying it needs to be more playful, more improvised, more organic feeling. If you're funny, I don't think it has to be a scripted structure, but not scripted, Yeah. And every scene looks so perfect now. Like the lighting, there's no grit to movies anymore. And I like those moments of grit. Mm-hmm. Not the whole movie perhaps, but just those pockets of grit.
Yeah. Because sometimes you might film something and it looks weird and not exactly what you thought, but you're like, actually, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I totally agree. And that happens in the event realm too. Like, hey, I didn't plan this like this, but when we threw those lily pads into the pool, I was like, they were just decor, but you know what? People were engaged, so let's go for it.
It was the funniest thing. I'm like, people are loving this.
They loved it.
Yeah, easy. People are getting in line.
Yeah, to throw lily pads.
Yeah. So I'm optimistic. Like, I was just in LA. Everyone is super negative out there. It was draining, and it's sad because so much cool stuff comes out of LA, and there are amazing artists out there and great talent. But I think the there's just the politics of the whole industry like weighs on everyone's shoulders.
It does.
And like I would just say like we need to get out of that mindset.
Yeah.
Like break out of it, learn how to play again. Also, this is not supposed to be so serious.
No, I know.
Because it's a town run by lawyers and agents and managers.
Right.
And all these rules.
I know. But have you gone to the movie theater? It's so expensive.
And I hate that.
It's too much. Like, it's not accessible to the American family. And that's why I think it's dying, too. Because you go, I went on a date.
You can't take your kids.
No, I just went on a date, right? It was $50 to get in, and then another 50 at the, and we just got popcorn and 2 Cokes. Another 50 at the, who can afford to go to 2 people, $100 to see a 2-hour movie?
Absolutely.
Like,
when it's going to be on Netflix in 3 weeks.
And it's going to be horrible.
Right.
You know, the film's not even like, it's going to be a remake or a reboot, like.
I agree completely. The history of film is like it's supposed to be a working family medium. Like that was the whole thing.
Right.
Like that's the original cinemas. Like, and for a long time, it was like, oh, I can pay a couple dollars for one ticket. I can bring the whole family.
Right.
We can have popcorn.
It was an experience, right?
It was an experience. It's been a long week. Like, I mean, go back to the Depression.
Yeah, that's
Movies
what it was.
flew off during the Depression. Like, everyone was broke.
Right.
It's like a nickel.
Yeah, it was a nickel.
And now it's true, like $22 for a ticket.
Right.
Then
or $18.50 if you're a student. Like,
sure. And it has undermined the popularity of films.
Right.
And I think the chickens come home to roost at some point.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's these studios and they're charging too much. Like they're not paying probably the theaters enough.
Right.
You know, and so then they have to charge up on the Coke and the popcorn, and it's all kind of broken. So I think lower the price of your movies, lower the budgets. Don't pay Robert Downey Jr. $100 million.
No,
but he's
hire
getting paid.
young directors to produce their films, such as yourself. So everybody can eat. You know, families can go and see the film for a lot less. You're giving new opportunities to new directors with fresh ideas. And also you're engaging local artists and keeping local talent employed. Like, isn't that the whole premise of getting into filmmaking or events?
Yeah. And I think also, like, as this system breaks, and it is breaking. It's clearly breaking.
Yeah, it's a dying art right now.
It's a dying art.
And someone has to revive it. And I believe
it's a dying industry.
Yeah.
And I think the art will always survive because it's cool art.
Yeah.
But also, like, like the idea of filmmakers making their own arrangements with theaters.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a future in that. Like there's innovation because like there's lots of theaters and there's even lots of independent theaters. Right. And like the idea of just bypassing and having your own, you know, marketing and your own doing your own deals with theaters.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a lot of potential in that.
Did you see they're building a huge studio lot in San Marcos?
Yes.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah, super exciting.
Only 30 minutes away from there.
Yeah, and also the Texas legislature is about to pass this huge bill, which is a film incentive program, $500 million a year for like 5 years, I think.
Wow.
So it's like $2.5 billion, and that's gonna make Texas more competitive. Like, so lots of more money for film.
Yeah,
and you know, there's no production happening in LA right now.
No.
None, because it's too expensive. It's better to shoot in Budapest. It's better to shoot in Georgia.
Yeah.
And hope now it'll be better to shoot in Texas.
Let's go.
Which is great because we have lots of film infrastructure. Right. We have Richard Linklater. We have Robert Rodriguez. We have the old airport, which is studios. We have lots of crews. Like we have lots of cinematographers. Yeah. You know,
and we have a lot of natural resources that are so different. We have the desert here.
Beautiful state.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous state. You know, you were just in Big Bend.
Big Bend, mountains, desert.
Right. We have, we have the ocean near Houston. It's not the prettiest.
No, but
a little biased.
But it's, you know, for a certain film, it's perfect.
Or an aesthetic look. Yeah.
I mean, there's a great indie film that happens in Corpus Christi. I'm sure Lord. you can figure it out.
Is it Selena?
What?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no, that would be good.
Right.
But yeah, like I was just driving, like you said, to Big Bend over the weekend with a group of guys, and we had the best time. And just driving across, Texas is huge.
It's huge.
I mean,
Everything's bigger in Texas. You would.
There is a reason why Big Bend is the least visited national park in the country, and it's not because it's not amazing. It's because there's nothing for like 10 hours.
Are you
on
serious?
all sides.
Wow. I want to make it out there though.
You gotta go.
I will.
It's incredible. We hiked. We swam in the Rio Grande.
Wow.
Yeah. Touched Mexico.
Wow. Don't say that. Edit that.
I take that back. I'm just kidding. We just looked at it. And overlooked these beautiful vistas. We went off-roading in my truck. So fun.
Amazing.
So fun.
Wow. So what's next for Wolf's Edge? Like, where do you see it going? How do we get this produced? How do we get this moving?
I know. Well, Gabor we've had like very great response. Our Kickstarter ended. Although there's still late pledges in April.
Right.
So you can
still
how do we
get back on that?
You can still go to Kickstarter. We're about to print the third book, which completes the volume.
All right.
So we got books 1 and 2, and third's almost done. Then we ship them off to all the backers. We had a really successful campaign. So we sold hundreds of books.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're gonna get our first audience. Okay. And that's what I'm most excited about, is packing these things up and mailing them to people.
Yeah.
Because for an unknown indie comic with no famous people involved.
Right. Yet. Right. Halle Berry, we're talking to you.
Halle Berry. My producing partner is at Cannes right now.
Right. And Halle Berry, we're coming for you. We're looking for you.
Go meet Gabor.
Oh.
And look, I told Gabor, we need to focus on finding our audience, because there's people that want this, and there's people that will be moved by it, or their life will improve, even if it's just for 10 minutes while reading it, or just to think about it.
And I think in this realm where we are politically, emotionally, physically, financially, I think people need an escape. And if you can't afford a theater, what's great is you can pick up this book and create the scenes in your head, and it's beautifully illustrated. It has a wonderful plot line, so you get people out of their own situation. And even if you give them that 30 minutes to read through it, you let them escape life for 30 minutes of getting off the devices, not going to a theater. They can do this in the privacy of their own home as well. And to hold something tangible in your hands, like you said, is just so refreshing in this day of everything is swipe, swipe, swipe. So yeah, if you have the opportunity, get Wolf's Edge, read it. There's nothing like touching it, and that is good paper, I'll tell you.
It is nice paper. I don't even know how we found this paper.
Yeah.
But it's really nice. And but I told Gabor, we want to make a movie, and it's a lot of work. It's going to be, even if once we get to make the movie, then the work begins.
Right.
But we got to keep it light.
Yeah.
It could take years for us to get there.
Yeah.
It already has.
Right.
I don't want to live those years of misery. I want to be light and having
life
fun.
Life is so short.
I want to work hard, but stay light about it. There has to be a
sort of play to it too. And just like going back to events, if you're not having a good time as the planner,
right,
your guests are not going to be.
It rubs off.
Yeah, it's
everything
just the energy.
infects everything for good and bad.
It really does. So. Thank you so much.
So what's next for you?
For me? So right now I'm working on a party on the production aspect of it. It's called Coffee and Chill, ATX. It's going on in different large cities across the United States.
Cool.
So it happens in California, in LA, it happens in New York, it happens now in Austin, Texas, it's happening in Miami. So it's a holistic approach to partying, no booze. They red light therapy, cold plunges, coffee, and DJs.
Cool.
So that's
how do we learn more about that?
So it's Coffee ATX.
Coffee ATX.
Yeah. Okay. Coffee and Chill ATX.
Cool.
So,
we'll put the link in the
check that
description.
out. Yeah, I'm also running a summer camp program for kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I sign up?
Yes, I actually need someone to teach the TV and film aspect of it. So we'll talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's running for 3
I love
months.
Teaching.
Yeah, and it is really cool. We're gonna influence all age levels, starting from 5 to 17. We got really cool projects.
Amazing.
Lined up for that.
Wow.
So I'm really excited about that.
That's fun.
And
Sweet.
I'm excited. I'm ready to party. So I'm planning a lot right now in the summer months because that's when the events go dead. So now it's my time to get creative and really think out of the box and see what I want to produce in the upcoming season.
Cool.
So I'm very excited.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much, you.
This is so fun.
I know. Oh, welcome to the Wolfpack.
Bass Funk Daddy on Instagram.
Bass Funk Daddy on Instagram.
BASSFUNK Daddy, DADDYA.
Yeah, Bass Funk Daddy. Give him a follow, give us a like, and follow the channel if you haven't. It helps. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Ooh, wait, I'm gonna twerk for the video. You know I like to twerk. Hey, Wolf's Edge, baby.
Wolf's Edge. Okay.